So I quit YouTube. Well, technically, I didn't announce that I was quitting. I just disappeared. And actually, I've been thinking about whether I should even do this video because parts of me were thinking, does anyone even care? And then I thought, you know what? This is exactly the kind of thinking that made me stop in the first place. So I'm back. And this time, I want to do YouTube differently. A few months ago, I started this channel because I thought, why not? And I had all these ideas about what I wanted to talk about: divorce, rebuilding your confidence, rediscovering yourself, becoming the woman you want to be after a difficult chapter. But if I'm completely honest with you, somewhere along the way, I stopped being myself. I was trying to figure out how to get subscribers, how to get views, how to eventually build an audience. And I think I got so focused on building the business that I forgot to build the person people would actually want to follow. And so I just stopped. And I left the channel sitting there for 5 months. But now I'm back and I want to tell you why. So let's go back to the beginning. I didn't actually start YouTube thinking, right, I'm going to become a YouTuber. It was more like, why not? And initially I thought maybe I'll just document my life. I could film things, keep them on YouTube, and could almost have like a video diary. And then I started thinking about my own experience. I'd been through a divorce. I'd experienced that whole process of having to figure out who I was again after the relationship ended. And I started thinking about the idea of becoming her, or actually maybe more accurately, becoming me. Because I think there's a version of yourself that exists before marriage, before children, before careers, before all the responsibilities. And sometimes we lose ourselves and we lose parts of ourselves. So I thought maybe this channel could be a place where I would document what it was like to find those parts of me again. And hopefully other women could see themselves in it too. And then I started seeing all these women online talking about YouTube and how it had changed their lives. People were talking about building businesses, creating second incomes, leaving their 9-to-5s, creating lifestyles for themselves that gave them freedom. And I thought, I can do this. Let me give it a go. I mean, I have a job, I work, I have kids, I have responsibilities. But I also started feeling like I'd outgrown the idea that my entire life had to be built around a 9-to-5. I don't hate my job. I actually don't. But I know I'm ready for something different. I want to build something for my own. I want something that's of my own. And I want to explore my creative side. And ultimately, I want to create a life for myself and my children that gives us freedom. So YouTube became that dream. So I started making videos, and at first I was excited. I genuinely enjoyed sitting down and talking about my experiences. But then I started getting into my own head. I became very focused on how many views would I get? How many subscribers did I get? Is the video going to perform? Is this what people want to hear? And I think I started approaching YouTube like a business before I even figured out what kind of creator I wanted to be. I was basically trying to build the audience before I'd even given them me. So honestly, I was just performing. I would write a script, I would read it, and then I'd try to sound like somebody who makes YouTube videos. And looking back, I'm just like, what the hell was I doing? I wasn't a YouTuber, and I wasn't gonna be a YouTuber overnight. And I don't think I was even trying to be a YouTuber. I was talking about confidence, I'll talk about confidence again, and then becoming her, and then confidence after divorce. And yes, these are things that I genuinely care about, but there was no personality. There wasn't enough of my actual life. There wasn't any humor. There wasn't any the silly bits of me. There wasn't like the feminine side of me or the ambitious side. It was just me reading a script. I wasn't being vulnerable. I would just read and just need to put a video out. And eventually I thought, what is the point in all of this? So I just stopped doing it. And if I'm honest, I think that's another reason why I stopped. Another reason why I stopped was scared of what people would think. What if people would see me? What if someone thinks I'm embarrassing myself? What if people think, who does she think she is? What if I put all this effort into something and nobody actually watches? And then I had this slightly ridiculous realization that nobody knew me. Like seriously, actually nobody knows me. I was worrying about people judging me when most people didn't even know I existed on YouTube. And the people who did watch I think they took the time to watch. I had views, I had subscribers, I had people commenting. And at that time, I think I looked at those numbers and thought, that's not enough. But now I look at it completely different, because those people took time to watch my videos. They didn't have to sit there and click on it. They didn't have to sit there and listen to me talk, but they did. And I actually really appreciate that now. And those few views weren't proof that it wasn't working. It was proof that I had actually started. There's a quote I remember reading quite recently, and it said, comfortable is the most dangerous place you can be in your 40s. And I don't know about you, but that one hit me, because I thought, for a long time I've been comfortable, not necessarily unhappy, not completely unfulfilled either, just comfortable. I had my job, I had my routine, I had my girls, I knew what my life looked like, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being comfortable. But I started asking myself, is this really it? Because I do not want to get to 50 or 60 and look back and realize I spent my 40s being afraid to try things because I was worried what people might think. I don't want to wonder what could have happened if I'd kept going. And maybe that's why this whole becoming her journey is about, for me, it's not about having everything figured out. It's not about willing to become, it's about failing. It's about starting again. It's about embarrassing yourself a little. It's about changing your mind. It's about trying to discover parts of myself that I hadn't given myself permission to explore. And honestly, that's where I am now. I'm just giving myself permission to try. So I've made myself a promise. I'm going to give this a proper go, not for 2 weeks, not until the views aren't what I've hoped for, not until I get tired, which I probably will. I want to see what happens if I actually commit to it, if I actually create consistently, learn about how YouTube works, learn about filming, learn about editing. I'm going to be terrible at thumbnails and titles, but that's okay, because the videos might flop, but I might surprise myself and do well. I'll have days where I don't feel like filming. I might have days where I feel like filming, but it's all about learning. And I think I realized that I don't want to wait until I'm confident to do it. The confidence will come when I start. So I'm coming back because not because I know exactly what I want. I'm coming back because I'm willing to figure it out. So what you're going to see here is, we're still going to talk about relationships because it was a big part of my life. We're going to talk about divorce and what happens after divorce. We're going to talk about building your confidence. We're going to talk about rediscovering yourself. But I don't want this channel to feel like I'm sitting here giving you a list of 5 things you need to do to be a better woman. That's not what I want anymore. I want to actually get to know me. I want to see the woman behind the advice. The funny Caroline, the soft and feminine me, the ambitious Caroline, the woman who doesn't tolerate BS, the emotional side of me, the woman who sometimes doubts herself, who is trying to figure things out, the mum, the woman who wants to be more, and the woman who's trying to build something of her own. So yes, we're going to talk about relationships, but we're also going to talk about fashion, because I love fashion, lifestyle, femininity, motherhood, changing careers, pivoting, building a business, and just life. Because I think becoming who you want to be isn't something you do in one area of your life. It's everything. And there's something actually happening in my life right now that I couldn't have planned if I tried. I'm renovating my house. Well, technically, I'm having my house renovated by somebody else because I want it. Yes, I entered an Instagram competition. I had absolutely an expectation of winning. I genuinely forgot about it. And then I got a phone call that I had won a free house renovation. And I was like, really? Me? So that's another part of this chapter I am going to be bringing you along, because I think it's going to be amazing. But it's also going to be chaotic and quite wild. And I'm going to be learning as I go. And honestly, it feels quite fitting that this is happening at this particular point in my life. I'm rebuilding my life. I'm figuring out what I want. I'm creating a different future, and I'm also watching my house being renovated and decorated and rebuilt. So we'll see what happens. And I think the biggest thing I want to do differently this time is to enjoy it. Enjoy creating, enjoy learning, enjoy getting better and discovering what I'm actually capable of. enjoy being a little bit more creative and to stop worrying so much about whether everyone else thinks I'm doing it right, because life is too short. And I'm in my 40s now. I don't want to spend this decade waiting for permission. I want to see what happens when I actually go for the things I want. And maybe that's you watching this and you're in that same position. Maybe you've been through a divorce, maybe you're rebuilding, maybe you've been a mum for so long that you've forgotten what you actually want. Maybe you've outgrown a career and maybe comfortable is not comfortable anymore, and that voice in your head is telling you there has to be more. Then this is for you. I hope you will come along with me, because I don't have the answers. I'm not at the end of the journey, I'm in it. And maybe that's the whole point. We're all becoming. So I'm back, and properly this time. I'm excited, I'm a little nervous, I'm probably going to embarrass myself, I'm definitely going to make some mistakes, but I'm here. And if you're also in a season of becoming and rebuilding or reinventing, I want to hear from you. What is one thing you're trying to change or build in your life right now? Tell me in the comments, because I think this is going to be really fun. And if you want to come along for the journey, subscribe, and I will see you next week.